My name's Chef, and I'm with Team Quest for Game, and today I'm going over a deck profile that I got top 4 with at one of the most competitive events in Texas at the Set Championship. That championship, I ended up playing a Mufasa deck with quite a large twist. So let's get into the deck profile. All right, so this deck profile is for the championship, and my championship got really competitive. There were about 30 players. There was 20 Lore Pro players. There was Lorcana Bros and everybody else in and in between. So this profile was designed for a meta that was not quite understood, but also very unpredictable. So let's get right into the deck profile. First off, 4 Mufasas. Now, this Mufasa is one of the cornerstones of the deck, but it actually is more of a safeguard for the rest of the cards. We have, of course, the Rapunzel package, 4 Rapunzels, 4 Mother Gothel. Obvious, you heal, you draw, has everything. Then you hit with Mother Gothel because she's a monster. She's a 3/4. We have 2 Simbas to protect. Very simple. We have 4 Mauis. Gotta have something to punch with, especially for those pesky locations. Then we are playing the Queen package, 4 of each. This, as you know, you shift into the big Queen, and you also have the little Queen who has Rush. Every time you challenge a character, you draw a card with the big Queen on board. So just another small engine. Playing 1 of each of Madame Medusa and, of course, Lady Tremaine. Now, these are mainly in there for characters with Ward for the Tremaine, or just pesky characters that have little attack that you need to get rid of, because sometimes it comes up. If you hit either one of these off of Mufasa, usually it's really good. Have 1 single Hades for whenever you get one of your characters that are in the grave that you need. So banish pile, let's say you have Mufasa, you want to return to hand, or whatever the case may be, but it's more of a utility card. Now let's go into the evasive package. We have 4 Minnie Mouse, 3 Pongo, 2 Goofy, 1 Donald Duck. Now, this is really important against red purple. The reason for, if you curve all 3, the 3 cost, the 4 cost, and the 5 cost against red purple, they actually lose if they don't have the Maui's Fish Hook. So when you go against certain decks that you know don't have evasive strategies, you play that, you mulligan for it, they can't do anything about it. 2 Aladdin. This comes up often, like when I hit it off Mufasa, even when I summon it, my opponent's not gonna quest, they're not gonna exert anything, because this can stabilize the entire game. So very important in the deck. Now we're getting towards the end, the most impactful cards. We have Scar. Scar, I am not playing any songs or any items. So since I'm not playing Be Prepared, I need something to clear the board. So essentially, as soon as my opponent fills up their board, summon Scar, take out the entire board. This is one of the best cards in the deck. Now, I showed you the mid game, I showed you some of the end game. Now, let me show you the early game. This was a last minute change, and we ended up making the deck way more consistent and much more explosive. 4 Lilos. You play Lilo, turn 1, turn 2, you go into Piglet. Or you go into Simba. Or you go into LeFou. So, with this package, you basically put your opponent on you better have it. Then, if they out that, you go into your evasives. Then if they out that, you go into your Mufasas, you go into your Scars. So this strategy basically keeps them on their back foot, and they can't be focused on drawing, they have to be focused on taking out your board. So red purple, they can't deal with a board that doesn't allow them to draw cards and gain advantage. So if they get all the way to Be Prepared when you have a Mufasa on board, they wipe their board, they have no hand, and now they're playing your game. And now for the last 4 cards in the deck. Now this is the reason this deck got 4th. This card is insane. For Perdita. Now, remember everything I just told you. Early game can win you the game. The mid game can win you the game. Perdita wins you the game in late game. They hit you with Be Prepared. Your Mufasa goes out. Let's say you hit a lousy card. You summon this, you summon back your Piglet. Next turn, you're gonna draw a character because guess what? Your entire deck's characters and almost everything is under 6 cost. So you summon a character, now you can quest for 3, possibly closing out the game. Interaction with LeFou. You quest with this, summon LeFou, Radiant. They can't attack with a Maui or anything else. So Perdita is actually the real backbone of the deck. The Mufasa's in there essentially for an insurance policy, but Perdita is really the one running the show. So that is the deck profile. Okay, so as of for my matchups, this deck beats every deck combination for the most part, except for it struggles with Amber Steel. Now, Amber Steel, they have to have a certain type of build, and it's not guaranteed, but for the most part, that is your worst matchup. Other than that, you're automatically going to beat Red Purple. You're going to beat pretty much everything else. The only other deck that might give you a problem, depending on the build, is, of course, Emerald Steel. But for matchups, I felt very confident. Unfortunately, I went against Aaron and Ruben in Swiss and in the top 4, and that's who I ended up losing to, which I expected that to happen because he was playing Steel Song, so naturally there's nothing I could do about that. But outside of that, every other matchup I had, I was very confident because they had to out my Lilos, out all of my early game questing. Then they had to out my Evasives, and then they had to out Perdita. So pretty much no game goes not in your favor unless you brick, but it's all characters, so bricking is less likely to happen. So I'm gonna keep reiterating on this deck. I think in the future, this deck's always gonna be very strong because as the character pool gets more broad, the deck gets stronger. So I'll keep you posted. This is Team Quest for Game, signing out.